Hey, thanks for joining me again. So backpackers.com has asked me to review another product for them for their website. And so if you'd like to read this in the written form, feel free to check out backpackers.com. But here it is in video, basically. So this is the Osprey Manta AG28 day pack backpack for the day hiker, basically. This is one of their high-end premium products. It retails for 165 bucks, and it's a really serious backpack, and there's a lot of really great things about it, and a couple of things that I wish were a little bit different. So first off, the main feature that differentiates this backpack and Osprey backpacks in general from most others is their suspension system, their suspension and ventilation system on their back pads. And so basically this has like a mesh panel here that even extends down onto the hip belts as well. What it does is essentially it keeps an airspace so that air can flow between your back and the actual backpack itself. And so that's really nice. It definitely helps reduce some of the moisture buildup, but even more so than that is it's incredibly comfortable. So you can hike all day in this thing, and you know, when I hike all day in this thing, my shoulders and my back and everything still feel great at the end of the day. So that is really the distinguishing factor about this backpack. One thing that I'll note in terms of durability about it is it does feel like overall it has really, you know, very strong materials and very durable, you know, pieces and everything. However, there's one spot right here that's kind of runs along the top side of these hip belt straps, and it's part of the mesh suspension system. But for some reason, they have like a really kind of like a thinner strip of mesh over here, which I would hate to see what would happen if that got snagged by a branch accidentally or something like that. So that'd be something just to kind of keep an eye out for and be mindful of. What else? The other main feature about this pack is it has its own. It comes with a hydration reservoir and its own compartment for the hydration reservoir as well. It's made by HydroPack. And it's they advertise it as BPA free and PVC free as well, so hopefully it means it's a little bit less toxic for you. You know, in general, I've kind of I don't really personally use hydration reservoirs these days anymore, just because I have had too many fail on me in various ways, and just kind of soak all my gear that was supposed to stay dry. So I've gone back to water bottles, but something that's kind of, you know, this one itself, I don't know, like we'll see, like I'm testing it out now and we'll see how it holds up. But there are some things that it does seem like they've made some innovations since the last ones that I've used. The first thing that I noticed about it is the material that they used is a much softer, more vinyl type of feeling, more pliable type of feeling material. So that seems like it's much less likely to crack than some of like the other harder, crinkly plastic, you know, materials that I've used in the past that have been a failure point for me. Also, it has, you know, something that I found about reservoirs is the less of a seam it has, the fewer places it could potentially fail. This one, instead of having a seam that wraps all the way around, it has just the seam that wraps, you know, along one side, basically. So that's nicer. And in general, because it is a softer material, I don't think that that's going to be an issue. However, something I would keep an eye out for, which I have seen on other reservoirs, is this piece right here, this little plastic piece that connects the hose to the rest of that softer, you know, vinyl-ish, I don't know if it's a vinyl, but whatever the softer plasticky material is. You know, I've seen these pieces get delaminated before, and that was a leak point on other systems that I've used. So just something to keep an eye out for. It's a 2.5 liter pack. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. And a couple other cool features about it is it has this like quick connect piece built into the hose so that you can easily attach and detach the hose to fill up the bag, you know, at like a fountain or water fountain or whatever. And then without having to, like, you know, unstring this whole hose through all the little straps and loops that you got it strung through. It just makes it a lot more convenient. And then it also has this, not unique to HydroPack. I've seen this on another hydration bladder system before, but the way that you can open it has this kind of like Ziploc-ish type of system where it's like this piece slides off, and then it's got like a fold top. And I do think that this in general is a pretty good system. I don't think that will have issues with leaking. Who knows? We'll have to see how well the corners of this piece stay laminated over time. But we'll see. So that's really a nice system. It makes it really. It's almost. It's big enough that I can stick my hand in there, but it's a tight squeeze. I can certainly get a towel in there for drying it out, which is just something to keep in mind. If you are using reservoirs, you have to be really on top of drying them out pretty much after every use, or it'll start growing algae in it, especially like in the tube. You have to disassemble it and spin out as much of the water and hang it up in the sun to dry out. Like, something to keep in mind if you're getting into hydration systems like this. But another thing that I really like actually about the hydration system and about the backpack in relation to it, so partly because it has its own compartment for the bladder, but also because of the way that this whole like mesh suspension system is built. I can take a fully loaded backpack full of gear, and I can take a fully loaded hydration reservoir, and I can slide it into its compartment without having to take out a bunch of other gear to make way for it, which has been the case for me typically on other reservoirs that I've used. And the reason for that is because there is that gap of space between the mesh backpad and the inside of the back of the backpack itself, that like the backpack itself is able to expand and fill up part of the mesh space with that reservoir, that full reservoir, without feeling like a bulge in the middle of your back. It doesn't distort the shape of the pack, and because it has that play, that little space to expand into this airspace, you don't have to pull out a bunch of gear from the main compartment in order to put that back in. So that is like a really key point for me. Next, still in regards to this, to the hydration bladder system, the bite valve, the design is very similar to a Nalgene one that I've had before, which I found that eventually it got chewed off, like the rubberized material eventually got chewed off. So I don't know if that will happen on this one or not. It looks similar. I don't know if it's the same basically, but it'd be something to keep in mind. Also, the little features, it has this little lockout valve so that if this thing does start dripping or whatever, you can easily lock it out so it doesn't drip all over your stuff. Sorry, a little low battery mode sign pop up there. Okay, so something else that's really, really important, and that's both a really cool feature and also something to keep in mind, about it, is it has this little. Osprey makes these little magnetic sternum strap buckles with the corresponding magnet on the hose, so that you can easily access the bite valve and drink water, and just put it back without the hose just flailing around on you. So it works really, really well. The only caution I would have for you is that your compass, it'll throw off the ability of your compass to perform. So because of the magnet, basically. So if you're not using a compass to navigate or anything, no problem. It's an awesome system. But if you are using a compass for whatever reason, just take this piece off or something like that, or it will interfere with your navigating capabilities. Okay, next item of business here. So let's talk about some other features on this pack. It's got tons and tons of pockets. It's got, in fact, 11 different compartments, whether that's mesh pockets inside of other pockets or whatever. It has 11 different spaces to store stuff. So that for the most part is enough space to do whatever, to store whatever I want, wherever I want, for the most part. It has my favorite pieces, my favorite pockets on this system are on this backpack are these like hip belt pockets. It has one on each side, and they're pretty spacious, and it is enough. It's almost enough space to carry around all the essentials that I like to be able to access while not having to take off my backpack. I do wish that I had two more similar kinds of pockets on the shoulder straps, because, like I said, it's almost enough space to carry everything that I want to be able to access without having to remove the pack, but not quite enough space. So I think two more just like these on the shoulder straps, that would make me very happy to see that. What else? It's got these load lifter straps that, you know, you pull just over the shoulder straps, and that helps pull the pack in to keep it, you know, to minimize whatever sway factor you would feel from the backpack. Those are really helpful, and it also helps distribute some of the weight off the shoulder straps so that the shoulder straps themselves won't like break out of, you know, won't rip off from the rest of the pack, which I've seen before on another pack that didn't have these load lifters. Also, it's got 4 compression straps, 1 on each corner, or basically 2 on each side, and that helps even if you have like a half-loaded pack. It'll help keep the pack nice and tight against your back. Something I don't think I mentioned is this is a premium pack, and it retails for $165. So it's not a cheap backpack. It's really for somebody who's doing, you know, all-day type of hike with, you know, a heavy load of gear. Basically, what you're paying for is you're paying for getting off the trail at the end of a long hiking day, and that your shoulders and back and everything still feel really good. If you're having, like, you know, if you're just doing a short hour, 2-hour hike or whatever, like, then it doesn't really matter that much to have such an intense backpack like this. But for those all day kind of things, it makes a huge difference. Okay, so back to the feature of this backpack. It has like this little like loop here with a picture of a helmet on it, so that they, I guess, suggest attaching a bicycle helmet there, or a rock climbing helmet or whatever. But it just seems like if you did, the thing would be flailing around on you. So I don't know if I would do that personally. And then it has another loop down here to attach a like a bicycle tail light, one of those red ones, so that if you're riding a bike with it, then it helps people not run you over in their cars. And then it also has, on the left shoulder strap, it has these couple loops here with a little picture of trekking poles, and that's for, you know, for storing your trekking poles when you're hiking but you don't want to use them for whatever reason. It's just like a convenient place to hold them. And then it also has another feature that I think is really cool about it is at the bottom of the pack, on the outside, it has a small pocket, zipper pocket, and it has inside there a pack cover, or a rainproof pack cover, so that basically, you know, if there's a downpour while you're out hiking with this thing, you just open that up and throw it on, and in theory it'll keep all your stuff on the inside nice and dry and not getting ruined from the rain. And that is pretty much it for the most part. Oh, it also has, like I should have mentioned earlier, it has this like aluminum frame as well that keeps the shape and keeps everything, you know, nice and stiff for distributing the load. Oh, another thing that's really important. This is one of the most important things for me about this pack is so it has, you know, it has the hydration bladder that it comes with, but it also has these mesh pockets on the side, okay? And they have really cool in theory, but there's a little issue that I have with them. So you can load up water bottles. I load the tall, slim 1-liter water bottles, one on each side, and you know, it's a nice way of carrying extra water. And the way that they made it is that they have 2 openings. There's one at the top of the pocket, and there's one kind of at the side. So you can either load the water bottle directly, like vertically into it, so that it runs along the side of the pack, or you can load it kind of diagonally, so that while you're hiking along, you can pull, in theory anyway, you can pull out the water bottle, drink from it, and put it back. However, because of the way it's designed, you're certainly able to pull it out and drink from it, but I was not able to put it back in that mesh pocket for the life of me. without removing the pack. I had to remove the pack to get it back in. So that kind of defeated the purpose of, of the design. In order to make that design work like it intended, there really needs to be like some kind of like a frame to this pocket, so that the thing always stays open, that you can easily, load the bottle back into it. Now that's just one thing to keep in mind. Apart from that, it's an awesome pack. I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I recommend it for somebody who is going to be doing those all-day heavy load hikes. So yeah, if you have any questions about it, feel free to write in, contact me, and ask any questions. Give me any comments that you have for me. And yeah, thanks for watching.